Morning everyone. So in this video I'm going to talk about the difference between technical and fundamental analysis. If you're new to trading the stock market, you might want to understand what's meant by these terms, and it's a good place to get started because it will help you to decide how you want to drive your trading journey. So in a nutshell, fundamental analysis is where you're using data that's not on the charts, such as financial statements and other key information about companies, to try and predict what the future price movements are going to be. Whereas technical analysis is when you're just looking at the charts, seeing if you can identify patterns and predicting future price movements on the basis of patterns on the chart. So I do technical analysis. I'm a chartered accountant, so I'm capable of doing both, but I choose not to do fundamental analysis. I think everyone's trading journey is unique, but what I've come to realise is the fundamentals play out on the chart in a visual way. So that I don't actually look at these two things as things that are distinct from one another. I just think a lot of the fundamentals that you learn in the financial statements just play out in front of you on the chart. So if the directors make a key decision and they announce it to the market, which is going to affect the share price, you can be sure that the price is going to drop like a stone or rocket on the chart in front of you. You're going to have loads of volume here, like here for example, and it's going to show you what they're doing in real life on the chart. And I just feel like I don't need to know too much about what they're doing. I just observe what's going on from the patterns on the chart. I'm not saying that fundamental analysis is not useful. I think some people find it really useful. Some people just do fundamental analysis. So it's your unique style. You have to choose what you think you're more comfortable with. There are some things that you're going to find out from fundamental analysis which you won't get from technical analysis. So, for example, you might get a statement from the directors in the financial statements about the future of the business. Maybe they're preparing to do something which you just won't see on the charts. So I am a technical analysis trader, but I do try and keep major pieces of news about the companies that I'm trading in mind as well. So for example, what Trump's been doing with all of the tariffs and how it's affecting Apple, I have that in the back of my mind when I'm deciding whether to go into a trade in Apple or not. So I keep it broadly in the back of my mind, but I don't, predominantly I'm using the charts. So when you're a technical analysis trader, you're using these sort of support and resistance levels. You're identifying areas of support and resistance on the chart. And what do I mean by that? You're just trying to find areas where there's a lot of buying or selling pressure by the big players. The big players are going to be the hedge funds, the pension companies, and ultimately if they're buying or selling, it's going to push the price up or down because of the sheer volume of what they're managing, the assets under management for those businesses. So if you want to understand more about technical analysis, support and resistance, understanding how to use all of these indicators and things on the chart to help you, there's lots of videos on my YouTube channel that you can find out more information. I also offer a discount to the software that I trade with. I'm with TradingView. You can get that linked below. If you want to do more, you think you're more on the fundamentals side, there are different ways of looking at the value of a company. So one of them, there's many different ways. There's lots of ratios you can use. PE ratio, for example. These are ratios which are looking at how much the company earns compared to its asset value, how many liabilities it's got, what's the volume of its liabilities compared to its assets, things like this. So, and it can give you an indication of how healthy the company's balance sheet is. The thing about fundamentals is if you want to be a fundamental analysis trader, you will need to learn what a balance sheet is. You know, what all of these terms are. What is a balance sheet? What does that even mean? It's something which I can't cover in this video, but I could probably do a separate video on that actually. I am a chartered accountant myself, so this is the bread and butter of what I've done in my career up to now. So, you know, I'll probably post another video explaining to you what a balance sheet is and how this can affect, how the ratios on the balance sheet can affect the liquidity and health of a company. But you know, as I say, if you want to be a fundamental analysis trader, you would need to get to grips with all of that stuff and be able to read a set of financial statements. So I hope you found this helpful. That's just wanted to give you a quick summary of the differences between the two styles of trading. Some people do both. I'm a technical analysis trader. Some people just do fundamentals. So it just really depends on what your personal style is going to be. And I think the fundamentals are possibly more important for long-term investing. But again, it's not necessarily, in my opinion, it's not essential, because I can see long term on the chart. I can go to the monthly time frame and check what a company's been doing long term. So here we have the US 100. This is not a company, it's the average of all the companies. So right now they've gone to the moon. I can see the RSI is telling me they're way overbought. They are priced at a price which is more than what they're actually worth. This is what this indicator is telling me. The pattern of this is telling me that they're going to hit a peak and smash right down very soon. And in fact, this is what some of the some experienced investors are saying. Elon Musk, for example, he's got a video on YouTube explaining that he thinks there's going to be a big crash in 2026. I'm not here to predict the markets. I'm not telling you there is going to be a crash. This video is just to explain to you how you can try and get an idea yourself of what's going to happen. So, you know, you can see the long-term picture. This has been shooting up very aggressively since about July 16, a long time. You had a massive gouge down here, which was COVID, but, you know, so that you can see the real life things playing out on the chart. Once I get this big red candle, when I'm a technical analysis trader, if I've got a big red candle like this, I'm not about to hop back into the market. I want to see it's tying up with what I know is going on in real life. We've just had a COVID pandemic. People are getting jabbed in hospital. People are dying. You know, it kind of, what the candles and the pattern that you see on the chart are just confirmations of what you kind of know is going on in real life on a broad level. So I hope you found this helpful. Perhaps if you did, you could give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. That will help my channel to grow. And as I say, if you want a discount to this software that I use, you can get that linked below. Right, thanks a lot, guys. Bye.